Ready when you are.
This is Fortress America. This is a classic game of America being invaded by various forces from around the world. It's a 4-player game, 2 to 4 really, but one player plays the American forces and the other players play kind of on a team as the Western, Southern, and Eastern invaders. The way the game works is there's a simple turn sequence. You get more reinforcements each turn. You declare the battles out on the table. You take maneuvers, which walks around. You move your pieces around, get in position for battles. If you're the Americans, you get to fire the lasers, which are these here. And each turn, the Americans get a new laser on the field. So, like, in turn 1, normally they get one in Minneapolis there. And then they get to fire lasers to destroy pieces anywhere on the board. There's combat. I'll explain that in a little more detail in a minute. Invasion is when you move in to take over territory you've actually conquered. The invaders have to maintain a supply line to the edge of the board and capture territories. Same thing there. So we've already got it set up out here for the start of the game. And America has 2 units of his choice in each of his cities. And then the invaders have up to 5 units in each of their invasion zones. So you can see these areas along the edge of the board are invasion zones. Each invader has 6 areas from which to bring pieces in off the board, basically. Now, during the first turn, you don't do much reinforcements, but the main thing is that the invaders start with a third of their pieces on the board, and then they bring in more pieces as the game goes on, normally 8 units a turn. And one of the things that's very interesting is that the American pieces, as they die, they get to come back into the game, but when the invader pieces are killed, because they're coming from overseas and long supply lines and stuff, when the invaders lose pieces, they lose them for good. So that's one of the tipping points in the game, is that early on the invaders roll across America and start conquering cities, taking pieces, and America's just trying to hang on long enough to get their lasers built, and for the invaders to start running out of reinforcements so that the Americans can start coming back. And you'll see that'll be like the key moment of tension in the game. This is where that tipping point's reached. Let's see. Let me show you a little bit about how quick combat kind of works here. Now let's do the invasion of Portland here. Okay. This will be a simple little fight here. So you have a combat sequence, and typically, the defender gets to fire first, so he's getting his licks in first. Okay. And then the attackers fire. And the way it works is we have different colored dice here, which correspond to different unit types. And so we look here, and the order in which combat goes, defender fires first, and first air units, then mechanical units, and then foot units. Well, in Portland, he has 2 foot units only. Gotcha. So we look on the chart here, and it says infantry, which is what these guys are, red dice. So that player takes 2 of the red dice, and he rolls them out here. And basically, he looks on the chart here to see what they mean. The blank is a miss always. And then we've got what's called a combined arms hit, which, as for the defender, it's just a hit. And I'll explain the fanciness to it later, but for now it just counts as a hit. So we look and see the order of casualties, and foot units have to kill foot units first. Gotcha. That's just the way they work out. So he would kill off one of the yellow invaders there, one of the foot units. Okay. And that would be what the defenders managed to do for their combat.
So what do these symbols on the board mean here? What are those for?
Those are for different types of resources on the board. Okay. They're usually used for card interaction stuff. The Americans have stuff like, a foot unit appears in 4 different agricultural spaces. Gotcha. So like this would be agriculture. Here's the key: agriculture, oil, minerals. Oh, okay. And then you can see there's a city symbol under each of the little city pieces there, which helps you set it up.
How long does it take to play usually?
It's about a 3-hour game. It's a heavy strategy game. You know, it's like rolling dice and killing each other off. It's old school, but I think old school in a way that was ahead of its time.
Right.
So
okay, thanks. Appreciate it.